Hey guys, so we're gonna make a quick video just explaining the purchase process of how I came up with buying a G80 M3 and just some tips and tricks on getting the best deal on this car. So the first thing we'll start with is just the window sticker here. This is obviously the window sticker for my M2 67. Man, that inflation does kill. So 2025, obviously made in Germany, and our sticker price is 93,125. So we got 86 starting price for the all-wheel drive comp, driver assistance package, the green paint, parking assistance, executive package, the shadow line headlights, carbon fiber trim, galvanic controls, and yeah, we'll explain a little more in detail as we go. So, as you guys know, I used to have an F90 M5, and just overall, like I usually trade my cars like every year just because I try to buy cars that hold value pretty good, and I also happen to drive a lot, either just going on long trips or going back to Canada to visit my family. So I usually, somehow, I don't know how this happens, but I usually end up putting around 15,000 miles. This year, I put a lot more than that. So I bought my M5 back in June of 2024 with 10,000 miles. And then, pretty much at the start of June, pretty much, I think, let's say 11 months of ownership, put almost another 20,000 miles, which is absolutely insane. But no regrets with that car. Overall, it was a good progress, good journey as well. So this year, actually, me and my wife were actually having a kid, and I really wanted to keep the M5. I bought the car seats and everything to fit the M5. I still gotta try it. That'll be a next video. But I basically wanted, so right now, like, I don't see any value, personally, in having two cars, because right now my wife's not going to be driving, she's not going to be working, and I just want one car that can do everything. So I want one car that is all-wheel drive, 4 doors. I'm able to fit some type of all-season or winter tire onto it, which you'll see why, later on. And it has to be, somewhere under $96,000. And then, it has to have warranty. So the problem with the M5 was it was out of warranty. And I did have an extended warranty that I got through my credit union. I tried to get something with BMW, but it was really expensive. I got it with the credit union. And then after I got it, it's one of those things where you can cancel it at any time. I still need to get the money for that. But actually, what I realized is when I got that, one, they don't allow any modifications, and two, they have a cap on the labor rate. And the problem with that is, BMW labor rates are kind of expensive, BMW and Porsche. And if you don't go to an approved, provider or lender, and if their rate is higher than that, the insurance will only cover that portion of it. So that's why the insurance is really important for me. Insurance, not about the insurance, but the warranty. So I was originally looking at kind of getting like a 2021 or 2022 Cayenne GTS, because I wanted the V8, I wanted the power. That was the only SUV that I drove that I really liked. I was considering an X5M, but I really wanted to, get something new, get another V8. The X5M just kind of felt very similar to the M5. It was honestly like the same kind of driving experience. Minus it doesn't have pops and crackles, which the Cayenne does. And obviously getting into Porsche is good because later down, probably the next car, hopefully after this M3, will definitely be a Cayenne or some type of Porsche. So when I was looking at the Cayenne originally, the problem is like I have to get something 2022 with CPO. And whenever you want to get something CPO, it's like $5,000 to $10,000 more than the regular cars on the used car market. And with that, the best car that I was able to find was around like 87, 88 for 2021 with 30,000 miles, or I can go like a 2023 or 2024, which has a new body style, the 2024. I can get a Cayenne S, which is not the GTS. And that one was coming to 95, 96, and it was like 2024 with a year old with 10, 15,000 miles, and I'd get, the full warranty and everything. But obviously the thing with Porsches is it doesn't have the maintenance package, which BMW has. I mean, BMW covers all the maintenance. And then some of the Porsches, depending on the models, like the wheel options, like they get like so big that they have like 23 inches and like 325 rears that you can't get winter tires on it. Same thing with the X5M. The X5M, you literally cannot get winters. You would have to get like two different sets and like two different type of tires. And yeah, like BMW, what they recommend is getting like a whole new wheel set, which is like $5,000 that I don't want to waste. And especially if I'm only keeping the car for a year, it literally doesn't make sense, right? Usually what I do is I try not to replace the tires for that 1 year. I try to get something new. On the M5, unfortunately, like it was almost all the way out, but after a few months of driving, I replaced the tires and I was able to get a few thousand miles with those new tires as well. But yeah, so now the question is, the why a G80 M3? So originally when I was looking at the M5, I was actually wanting to get a G80 M3. But unfortunately last year, the market was pretty hype on these G80s. It still is pretty hype, I'll be honest. It was really, really expensive and really hard to find. So last year, like a 2021 M5 was going cheaper than like a 2021 G80 at the time, which is crazy to think. I think now it's like probably kind of like the same thing, more or less. I think G80 just have that hype just because, there are an M3. The car, what I've noticed is cars that are over 100K, they tend to depreciate a lot faster than the cars under 100. So M5, my M5 sticker was like 120 and it came to like 77 after like 3 years. Versus like a 3-year G80 is like still around like the 75, 80 range, and the sticker was only like 85 to $90,000. So obviously in the BMW lineup, with the requirements that I had, the only real options were like an M3 or like an X3M. X3M was good. I really considered it. The only thing was the resale values on those were kind of not the best. It dropped a lot in value, which is good, but the thing is it's going to continue to drop. And the other thing is, there's obviously the X3 M50 that came out of the next generation, and there's rumors about whether they'll create a new X3M or not. And I don't want to be a part of that. If a new X3M comes out, I'll definitely consider that as an option. I think that'll be a really cool car, with kind of like an updated S58 with some type of, hybrid motor. I think that'll be really cool to have, yeah, so the M3, when I looked at it, like comparing to the M5, it feels smaller when you look at it, but honestly, when you're sitting inside, like, my accessibility, my seat space in the rear, my trunk space in the rear, everything is like very, very similar, if not better. Like, I feel like the visibility in this car is a lot nicer. Where you sit, the rear seats, it's pretty much like it's a car. It's not going to be like an SUV. You have the same amount of height and everything. The only thing is you'll have a little bit more width in the M5. You can sit more comfortably, and you'll have a little bit more knee room as well. But usually in my car, like, I usually don't have all 4 or 5 passengers. It's going to be like maybe once or twice a month when I'm carrying my friends or family. So for my condition, the G80 M3 was ideal. And obviously, I had a G87, which is very similar to this car. The only thing is I never had an automatic and I never had an all-wheel drive. And from all the BMW engineers and BMW Performance Center driving school instructors, we always said is those two things make a huge difference in this car, because this car was developed with the automatic transmission first. And honestly, I can tell you guys that this automatic feels way different than the rear-wheel drive. How it puts down the power bands, like, how it even sounds, I honestly feel like it's different, but that's just because the M3 is 4 windows. It's a lot more insulated, and it's built in Germany, right? So it's gonna have a little bit of extra quality, I would say. But yeah, this was pretty much my thought process on why I got a G80 M3. Let me know, what else you guys think should be my next option, or something that I should look for next year or the year after. But hopefully, you know, this G80 M3, I want to keep it for at least 2 to 3 years, because we have that 3-year new car warranty. Yeah, I'll be making another video on basically the more like financial aspect of this car and kind of tips and tricks on that as well.